What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That So Dev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. We have some tea to get into, okay? Now, before we get into the tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube. We kind of popping over there, okay? Now, for the tea. The tea, freshly brewed, lemon ginger, honey, like it was serving. Okay. So I went to the Descendants and Zombies World Tour Collide. And I have to say, look, I've been a Disney kid since I popped out the womb. Let's be real. Literally, so like, listen, Lizzie McGuire, even Stevens, like Xenon really stepping into this whole Disney Channel world and uh, constantly as time progresses, gaining artists and actors that become more prominent in my life because obviously it went from Lizzie McGuire, Hilary Duff, right? So yesterday into Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, Best of Both Worlds, See You Again, and They Can't Be Tamed into We Can't Stop. Like it just Disney was producing stars that became central to a lot of us growing up. And going on this tour, because once again, standing all of these people prior, Hannah Montana, High School Musical, the Jonas Brothers, all of those acts went on tours. They had movies with those tours. And how long has it been since Disney has sent an act like that from Disney Channel on a tour? It's been a hot minute. So in order for them to do that, this year being the 10th anniversary of Descendants, 10 whole years since the first one, it's a celebration of that totally. But it also speaks to the fact that that tour in itself can have sold out shows, even with a new generation of casts, because it doesn't have any of the OGs from these movies. So I think that that's awesome. And look, I got that feeling that I got back then watching every single act perform. Every single piece of this cast created a wonderful and heartfelt show that gave everybody an experience worth appreciating. It didn't matter if you were my niece's age as teenagers or young children or adults. They created a show that really made you feel something. Shout out to Kylie, to Freya, Malia, Malachi, Dara, uh, Joshua, and what's his name? McConan? I think McConan might be his name. Please correct me if it is not. I do not want to mess up anybody's name. But first of all, he was so entertaining. He's so talented. And he just be flipping all over that stage. I'm like, you ate that. No, for real. Like in each individual person had their own strengths, and the tour did a very good job of showcasing that. And me coming into this tour, I came into this tour like, okay, I'm here for, let's be real, my girl Dara and Kylie. That is what I knew coming into this. I hadn't seen Zombies at all, but I've seen every single Descendants. Okay. And I obsessed over the fourth one, even though I do believe that they put a lot less into that one than the rest of them. That's how I will frame that. So, but I think the music ate. And what a missed opportunity that they did not perform Fight of Our Lives. I'm very upset about it. Anyway, moving on. Girl, snaps and claps. Genuinely. What a show. Now, let me say a little piece about some of these individuals, okay? First of all, Malia Baker with her guitar. How beautiful. That was such a beautiful moment. And I feel like this tour showcased her in a way that the movie did not, obviously. But I felt like in the movie, she didn't really shine as much singing. But here, we got to really see that part of her. I appreciated that. Dara. I've been watching her since High School Musical popped on the screen. Okay? The growth is absolutely insane. I love to see that from her. I had no idea that she had a solo song out. I mean, I looked on her, iTunes, Spotify page, and she had a song in 2020 that she had released, but everything else is from her work, their soundtracks and stuff. But she released I'ma Do It July 19th, and I looked at the calendar. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't too long ago. Like, like, and she hadn't said a word about it, which is interesting because I don't know. If I was going on a tour and I had a song coming out, I would have been yelling it to the top of the roof, especially because the song is a bop. And the way she performs it, it's insane. And I'm sure people are wondering, hey, what song is that? I would love to know. It definitely sounds like a song that could be a crossover hit. But anywho, she ate that. Freya? Girl, hold on. Because those vocals are crazy. I said, I did not know she could sing like that. Mind you, I'm just now meeting these people now. Okay. I had no idea who was really the cast of zombies except for Meg. It was to my surprise when I found out that I forgot what his name is, but he's from School Spirits. I'm going to remember his name, I promise you, because he is in a lot of shows and he's becoming one of my favorites. But anywho, it was to my surprise that he was in Zombies too, and that he could sing and dance. Oh, I was gagged. I actually was. So, I coming to the store, it was coming in blind essentially. And I think that Freya hearing her song Gold's Gone really just it catapulted her presence into my face, to be honest with you, because I went and searched the song up right after that. I was like, hey, hold on. Because I listened to the track, but the way she sings it live is actually 10 times better. And that note that she holds, it's phenomenal. It is. Absolutely. Because I took my nieces and my nieces were like, wait, they're not singing live, but like they were. Now, mind you, there is a backtrack. Don't get that mistaken. I mean, if I was performing No Shade, I would want one too. There is a backtrack, but they are singing live. Factual. Because we moved closer up to that stage and we could hear them singing. So just FYI, when you see those videos, sure, there's a performance factor on it because it is a performance. And many times they are filming for a movie that is going to come out after, right? So there's going to be some performance factors as well. Joshua, the way that he sang that song. Let's talk about it. Joshua, hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I could not believe what I heard. I just I saw him in Descendants, but we didn't get to see him sing or anything like that. So when I heard his voice, I got chills. My eyes were glued, and we were very close to the stage. So we really got to bask in the presence of the rawness that was portrayed through the song and through the audience because as intimate as the song was, I felt like it really captured everybody inside that arena, to be honest with you. All eyes were on him. They were focused. That voice moved people. The room went quiet when he sang. Everybody was listening. Hello? Right? So, a 10 out of 10 for that. I just mean, absolutely all of these kids, teens, coming into adulthood, they devoured this tour. Kylie, hello. Miss Ma'am, the choreography, the stage presence. I mean, my goodness. I could not have asked for more, right? Because keeping in mind that she has to fit the entity of this EP into the time frame that she has for this tour. So she can't do everything. So things have to be mashed together and intertwined. And the way that they went about it was so fantastic. I felt like the set list was perfect. And the way that everything flowed into each other, phenomenal. Absolutely. I'm so satisfied. And the experience that she's going to get to take this EP on a road into stadiums that are also, not stadiums, arenas that are also selling out. Yeah. Disney Channel stars have not had that experience for a minute. So what Disney is going to create and curate right now are stars. They have these stars celebrating these movies, but also celebrating themselves individually with their individual sets. And these sold out arenas are hearing these songs. And all of these people that are in these arenas are going to remember these people as they grow up. So that essentially is what made me feel like, oh, what, Disney might be kind of making a comeback for these kids, because I felt like it was lost for such a long time. But I feel like in this moment right now, there's a lot happening. I mean, there were things here and there. We had Sabrina over there. We had Olivia over there. We even had Asher Angel over there. You know what I mean? Just sprinkled over here and there. But it seems like the talent in the class is growing. And I think you can feel the shift. You can entirely feel the shift. And I love that for the kids, because I think that they need to experience that too, the way that we did. Because I always felt like Disney was kind of, it was lacking stars. But I'm looking at, at Raven's Home, I'm looking at, the new Wizards reboot. I'm looking at new TV shows that are popping up on Disney Channel that have that feeling that Disney used to have. So I love to see it. This tour was amazing. Like I said, I took my nieces. We had a good time. And I I think that part of me, like, I still don't know what to say. Like, I'm still kind of processing the tour, because I feel like it was so much into it. And I'm not going to lie, it was hard for me to process hearing these OG Descendant songs and the OGs weren't singing them. They almost didn't feel the same. But thankfully, we were already familiar with those actors and their characters. And I think that that made it better, because they weren't just some random people singing these songs. Descendants came out last year. Zombies 4 just came out, you know? It's coming off the hype of a fourth movie, and coming off the hype of, well, both the fourth movies, to be honest. Hello. But coming off the hype of Descendants just last year, but then Zombies just coming out, what a rollout, to be honest. Well executed. And then next summer, you have another Descendants movie coming out. I mean, well, there's no telling what they're going to add to this tour. They could take this tour internationally. It's doing well. And I think that they would really fill those stadiums, not stadiums, I keep saying stadiums. I really think that they would fill those arenas out around this internationally. I keep saying stadiums because I keep thinking about Beyonce. Like, Beyonce was crazy. So I went to Beyonce on Friday, and then I went to Descendants on Saturday. So I had a whole weekend full of concerts. It was fun. It was exciting. And, obviously Beyonce is a lot to live up to, right? So when we got to the concert, I don't know. I've been inside T-Mobile Arena before, especially for the iHeart Festival. Like, the production of it looks bigger. But the Descendants production is much smaller, but they have different areas of the stage that they utilize. Like, they have, a stage over here, but then they have a separate stage on the opposite end that's closer to the fans that are further out, where, Dara sings her song. And I think that that's great that they utilize, more than one area of the floor. But I think it caught a lot of us off guard how much smaller the production was, generally speaking. And I wonder if that was also because there's a lot of people who are on tour right now who've never toured before. I don't know if any of them have actually toured before, now that I think about it. But, it was just kind of like, wow. You know, for people who haven't really been on a tour before, you were killing it. The stage presence that they all have, it's like they've been doing this forever. Truly. And again, I gotta say, I love that because I just feel like that's going to translate so well when it comes to the movie that's going to come out, because it's very obvious there will be a concert movie. You're not going to send a Disney Channel act on a tour and not do a movie. That's not the Disney Channel way. That's not the Disney way. So I'll be looking forward to that. And, again, it puts them even on a higher platform because they'll be on these streaming platforms where people will see them performing, but not just these songs, but also their own songs. So reaching an even bigger audience, I mean, in real life, but also digitally. So snaps and claps to them. What a fun time. What an exciting concert. It was a 10 out of 10. The set list was such a good idea. I don't know who put that set list together, but it was done very well. And then adding an intermission in there, oh, for sure. That was the way to go. Especially because there is a younger audience and they need some time. But I felt like they really put on and filled out a really nice show. Like, the show was about 2 hours plus. They really did that. I thought it was going to be maybe like an hour and a half just because it was Descendants and Zombies. But they put them kids to work on that stage. Like, that was a fast paced show. And that's what I noticed first and foremost. It was moving so incredibly fast. And it didn't matter if, because they could have the whole cast on stage and then a couple will leave, two will stay, and then two will pop back up. But the reality of it is they have to move so fast to get from point A to point B and also change in between that. And I've obviously seen the behind the scenes footage of them literally sprinting to get where they need to be. And it just reminded me of seeing Miley Cyrus in the Best of Both Worlds tour, and just how chaotic it is. And I truly believe that most productions, especially a tour, is going to be chaotic. I remember we were filming this movie for this particular artist about 2 years ago, I want to say. And, she had a residency out here and they were just like, it was so chaotic watching them because transitioning from song to song, they had to leave at a certain point in the song to get changed so they can pop out for the next song. And things were really just overlapped time wise. And they literally had to use stopwatches to time how fast they can get it done and how much time they have so they can execute it on time. Like, they had to rehearse it. It had to be choreographed so that way things could be done in a timely manner. And I'm just thinking about their age as they're, you know what I mean? Because a lot of them are much younger, but I think that it's a very real reality for a lot of them who want to become these stars and staples outside of Disney Channel. And I know that a lot of them want to be, whether it's musically or in a movie. So they're putting in the work, they're putting in the time. I think that that's awesome. And this tour is just the beginning for a lot of them. And I think that they know that. And what's so awesome is when you hear songs like Joshua's song, they really are enjoying this tour. They're enjoying each other. They're enjoying the time that they have because it's very clear that they know that this isn't going to last forever. So they want to be in the moment, you know? And like I said with Joshua's song, that's very apparent. They want to be present. And I think that that's awesome. They have some really good representation for Disney Channel on the road. And I think that the kids at the show had the time of their lives. The adults were singing and dancing. Like, it was just great energy in the arena all around. That was apparent to everybody. And I think that everybody was very kind to each other. And they managed to fit in moments where you took a breath. Like, they took moments to have everybody be present, take a deep breath in and out, relax, breathe, just kind of let things go. And, you know, you have Dara that's also giving these speeches that are so wholesome, heartfelt, and motivational at the same time about really being true to yourself and always loving yourself no matter what. And I think that that was such an awesome element added on to the musical experience. They did such a wonderful and phenomenal job. But that's really all I have to say for now. I mean, what a wonderful tour. What else is there really to say? Everybody did their thing. And I think you should go see the show too. Anywho, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning into the That So Deaf podcast where you stay true and stay you. Some topics require an hour, some topics do not require an hour. Okay? I think we got to the point here and we can just leave it at that. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at That So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube, because girl, we got it popping over there. T, for real, for real. Okay? Now, like I said, I appreciate you. Drink some water, eat some good food, take care of yourself, because if you don't, who else will? Okay? I'm hopping off here. And I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.